What's up, everyone? All right, so I'm currently trading in Mexico, and in today's episode, I'm gonna walk you through the setup that I'm using on this trip. I have, of course, my traveling trading station, but for this trip, I wanted to condense down to the absolute minimum that I needed because everything was going in my backpack. I was only doing carry-on for this trip, no check bags, so no room for bulky extra monitors, extra laptops, nothing extra, only the essentials. So I'm gonna walk you through the essential traveling trading station that I'm using right now in Mexico. Now, just this morning, I traded and locked up over $47,000 in profits in about an hour and a half of trading, looking out on the beach from my hotel room. This is the magic of being able to trade. Once you master the strategy, once you have the discipline to follow your rules, and you've proven you've got a track record in a simulator, this is something you can do from anywhere in the world as long as you've got an internet connection. So let me inspire you with this episode of Trading in Mexico and walk you through my traveling trading station. And I'll remind you, as always, my results are not typical. I have been doing this for a long time. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so let's go check out the traveling trading station. Now, this is a really nice kind of setup that I've got here. I've got a little living room. The problem is that I didn't have a plug. So my first issue was power, and you know what? I never travel with an extension cord. Usually you can ask for one at the desk, but by the time they finally got to me, I had missed the ability to use it this morning. So this is where I'm gonna trade tomorrow morning. I'll be in this little living room right here, out that window, view of the ocean, beautiful. And then over here is where I was trading today. So I was kind of nestled in this little corner. But this was actually just fine. So that is my traveling trading station right there on the floor. And you know what? You might think that's kind of funny, but I actually really like sitting on the floor when I'm trading. When I'm at home, you know how I sit? I sit cross-legged. So I always sit cross-legged like this so I can be nice and upright. I like to have a straight back so I can be right in front of the computer. When I sit in a regular chair, even if it's a nice chair, I have a nicer chair, I just find that it's just, I don't know, I feel like I'm too lounged backwards. And when I can sit cross-legged, I'm more upright and right in front of the computer. So that's how I like to sit. So sitting on the floor for me is actually usually how I sit when I'm traveling. Maybe I'll put out a pillow, but I'll sit on the floor. So this little coffee table right here is actually perfect height for a traveling trading station. Okay, let's get zoomed in on what we've actually got going on here. So of course the main trading station is powered by this 17-inch laptop right here. This is a Falcon laptop, which is probably a little overpowered just for trading, but because I'm broadcasting and I'm gonna have to edit this YouTube video to upload, I'm doing a lot more on the computer than just trading. So I think you could get away with a simpler computer that would also be a little bit lighter, but the 17-inch screen is nice when you've got limited monitor real estate. So I've got the 17-inch screen right here, and you'll notice this sort of interesting situation we've got here. This laptop has a trackpad that is way too big. And the problem with it is whenever I'm using it, I find that my hand is sort of touching on the side right here when I'm typing. My hand is touching right here, and then it's moving the mouse around. So unless I'm willing to type with my hand like hovering, I actually found this was better. So I put a strip of tin foil right under there, and then I put tape over the top of it. And that's been effective. So now it's essentially like deactivated a third of the touchpad. Now I know some people think it's crazy that I use a touchpad while I'm trading, but I always have. It's what works for me. It's really what I prefer because I like to have my hands right next to the keyboard and not have to go reach over for a mouse. And it's also easier when you're traveling because I could set up in the airport. I really can just have this on my lap, as I did on Friday when I was trading at the JFK Delta Sky Lounge, and lock up $5 grand and then hop on a flight. So that was, for me, the big benefit of not having to pack a lot of extra things, including a mouse. So we've got 17-inch laptop here. And the way I have this set up is this laptop screen, level 2 windows, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I've got the Warrior chat room, and I've got a scanner right here that's showing me the stocks that are the leading percentage gainers. And this is filtering only with a float of under 5 million shares. Especially in this market right now, those are the types of stocks that have been making the biggest moves. Now over here, I've got this new Asus 17-inch monitor. And this plugs into the USB-C port. It doesn't require any additional power, just plugs right into the USB-C port. It's skinny as can be. And so I put this right next to my laptop in my backpack. And it adds like maybe half a pound. It weighs almost nothing, but it's a nice big 17-inch screen. You can adjust the brightness and everything else. So I've got that, and then the only other thing that I have are my headphones. And of course I like ones that fold flat like that because it's easier to space them out. They're charging right now, but otherwise they work on a little Bluetooth. This little guy right here, which is just Bluetooth. So I don't know, it's not coming into focus, but anyways. That is what connects it to the computer. So on my 17-inch monitor right here, this is pretty much exactly what you see whenever I do a recap. This is, oops, where did I bump it? So this is gonna be my, the stock that I'm watching, that I'm really focused in on. So today, this was AMIX, and I also had EVOK on watch. So those are the two that I was really focused in on. So one of them goes here, and then this is my scanner, top gainers. I've got my small cap high day Momo scanner, my running up scanner, my news feed. And then what I ended up doing today was I put a second chart kind of like this that I tabbed behind my trading software here. So I was able to pull up that second chart just to take a quick look. Not ideal. Usually I would travel with 2 external monitors. But for this trip, I just wanted to keep it light, so I traveled with just 1. If I was gonna be away for like 2 or 3 weeks, I would just bring 2. Like, what's an extra pound? Just do it. But in any case, for this trip, I was trying to just keep it light. So I wanted to see kind of how simple I could go. And to be honest, this really has been a perfect setup. I really don't need a lot more. Yeah, having that 1 extra monitor, it would let me have 2 other stocks on watch. That can be helpful on a day where, we're seeing a lot of stuff moving, but it's not really clear kind of which one's the obvious one. And so you're sort of keeping several on watch. But usually my best days are days where we've got 1 stock that's obvious and I can get in and I can trade that aggressively. And that's what we had today. So I'll put links down below for these different platforms. They're not going to be affiliate links. Use whatever you want. I don't care. But if you're interested, I'll put the link for the Asus monitor. I'll put the link for the Falcon laptop. And those are really, this is it. That right there is a trading station. And today my P&L is, I'm up over $47,000. So this, and then using the Wi-Fi. Now Wi-Fi can be a little bit of a tricky one. So when you're traveling, it's not a bad idea to use a VPN. So if you use a VPN, it's going to encrypt your data that you're sending out. So if you're on a public, unsecure wireless network, if it's at a coffee shop or it's at the airport or it's at a hotel, it's a good idea to use a VPN to encrypt your data. Because the data that you're sending out, you've got your buy and sell orders, but more importantly is your password to log into your account, right? So account access stuff. You don't want anyone else to get that, right? So using a VPN is a good idea. There's tons that you can choose from. It doesn't really matter. The thing that you want to be aware of is that some VPNs can increase your latency. So you can choose when you use a VPN, usually which region you want to be connected through. So if I'm in Mexico right now, I shouldn't run my VPN through somewhere in Europe or something like that, because my data still has to go back to my broker, which is in New York City. So a New York VPN would make sense because my data is already going to New York. So to New York. So you just want to be thoughtful about that, because if you add more stops or you put your VPN far away, then you're going to a data center way over there and then to here, and that's going to add more latency. Now, for me, it's not something I've almost never, I wouldn't choose a location that's crazy. At my office at Warrior Trading, my tech team set up one for me, so it's sort of a custom VPN. But in any case, I haven't had any issues using it. I think it's worthwhile to protect your data, even if you get a little bit of latency while you're doing it. It's a trade-off. You have to make that decision for yourself. It's up to you, but it's something to be thoughtful of. But other than that, the hotel Wi-Fi has been fine. Now, one of the things I'll often do when I'm traveling is I will call ahead at the hotel and find out what kind of internet they have. So there's places I've gone to where, I'm traveling and I'm going to an island somewhere and they're like, oh, we use satellite internet. Or, oh, we use a DSL internet with a signal booster that's mounted to a telephone pole or something. It's like, wait a second, that's not gonna work. So I will do a little bit of research to determine whether or not the place I'm going to has internet that's gonna support my trading. It makes sense because just on this trip alone, I've made far more than this trip cost me. But imagine if I didn't have internet for this whole trip. Not only would it have cost me how much money I spent traveling, I would have had the loss of trading profit, which is just doubly frustrating. So look, there's gonna be some places you really wanna go to that just don't have good internet. That's fine. Just go there, have fun on your trip, and it is what it is. But there's a lot of other places in the world, almost everywhere, that you could still trade while you're there, as long as you make sure you do just a little homework ahead of time. So you could always ask the hotel lobby to send you like a speed test, speedtest.net. That'll give you a report of the upload download speed and the network and the service provider, so you can look them up and see what the speeds are and check to make sure you're happy with it. And it'll show you the latency as well. So that's something I recommend. It just makes it so you don't have to worry about it. Now, you still have the risk, the luck of the draw, that they put you in a hotel room that's really far away from the main internet router or whatever at the hotel. I have had that happen before. I've asked to change rooms, or I've said, well, I'm just gonna go trade in sometimes they have like a business conference room or something, and I'll trade there for the morning. It's only for an hour or two. So there you have it. That's the tour of my traveling trading station here in Mexico. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, you can hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more episodes about trading strategy like this. And reminder as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please take it slow. And I'll see you for the next upload real soon.